All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a lesson on how the united front facade of Hesau and Shesau and of the whole nation of Edom is being destroyed, man. And the united front is basically how they publicly always used to make out like everything's okay, we ain't got any faults, there ain't nothing going on wrong with us, right? But now we're starting to see all the corruption that these people have always had, and that there was never a unified people. They just really hated us more than they hated everybody else, man. But the hatred that they had for each other is starting to show, man. And in this video, right, let me see if I can quickly press play to show the woman that's doing the talking. Have freedom. In this video, right, this woman's basically exposing her experience of being married and dating Edomites, man, and she's not making it seem like it's nothing good. Now, for all you Israelite women out there, if you watch this video, right, basically all the things that this woman's saying in this video are things that you so-called black women try and say about us, man. And y'all be thinking in your mind that it's going to be so much different dating Esau than it was dating Jake, but this woman's basically saying no, it ain't. She's basically in a nicer way bunning out the so-called white man how the Israelite woman bunned us out, but the Israelite woman still goes way further because she's framing it from the perspective of alt-right and all of that, right? But really, it's just Esau, right? That's just Esau, man. That's just one characteristic of how Esau acts, man. It was one of the ways that how they act, excuse me. But I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because this is ultimately prophecy, man. This is prophecy about going into how Esau's widows are not going to weep when he's destroyed. And what we know about our women of our nation, right, is that as it stands right now in Esau's kingdom, a lot of our women right now would not care about being Esau's concubine as long as they get to live a peaceful life in this society right now. They don't care about being a number 2 woman in this society as long as it means that they can get a little taste of what the Edomite woman gets access to. They really wouldn't care. They'd throw us Israelite men under the bus. I really believe that. And that's why they're so incensed and lose their mind when they see the Israelite man with especially an Edomite woman, because they really think that the Edomite woman is better than them, which she's not, but they think that she is. Right? She's not better than them in the grand scheme of things, that the best Israelite woman can be versus the best that an Edomite woman can be. The Edomite woman is way more inferior. But the Israelite woman does not believe that now. She doesn't believe that she's got the potential in the future to be better than the Edomite woman. So she's jealous of her, man. And that's why you see all these Israelite women that you'll be seeing walking around. You see Eve with the blonde hair and all that, still foolishness, man. And they're always comparing the Israelite man to the Israelite woman, they're comparing to that. And they think that them dating an Edomite man is different than us dating an Israelite, than us dating an Edomite woman, man. But it is different because the end result would be an Israelite child if we do it. But the end result of them doing it would be an Edomite child. But they don't want to accept that. Right? And I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because Esau is really fallen, man. And it says it in the book of Job that their widows are not going to weep. And the Edomite woman is starting to be like, man, I'd rather be by myself even than be with this Edomite man. And she's starting to realize that he's a demon. But here's the thing that I want to say. Them trying to throw their men under the bus is not going to stop them from also facing what the nation of Edom has to face. Them trying to think, oh, I'm going to turn away from these men and I'm going to escape. That's not going to, they ain't escaping judgment from that. They're thinking that in their mind because they're women. So that's, and some of them, it's so heavy that they're not, it says, remember prophecy says that their widows are not going to weep. Some of them are like, man, I'd rather the Israelite men rule. Some of them are thinking this in their mind. They ain't openly saying it yet. So, but some of them are thinking in their mind, I'd rather the Israelite man rule and become one of his concubines than the Edomite man rule and I be his wife. Just like how right now, several of these Israelite women are thinking, I'd rather be the Edomite man's concubine, then the Israelite man rule, and me be his wife. They don't want us to rule. When some of these women of Israel, I personally think have nightmares considering the thought of us so-called black men ruling this earth and being able to have multiple wives and being under the new covenant. I think that they think that that's the worst case scenario for the earth, which is actually the best case scenario. But I think that some of them hate our guts so much that that's the last thing that they want to see. I really don't believe that they want to see anything positive for us Israelite men on this earth, man. I really think they hate our guts to that level. I really think that, man. I think a lot of these Israelite women hate us, bro. That's what I think. That's my personal belief of this, right? And there's a reason why it's prophecy says, then she that is mine enemy, right? This ain't no National Hate Women Day, but I really believe that a lot of these Israelite women hate our guts. I really believe that, right? I really believe that they hate our guts. That don't mean that your woman hates you. That don't mean that the women that you know hate you, but the average Israelite woman, I really believe, hates and has an extreme dislike for the average Israelite man, especially those that believe that we're the Israelites, because they don't want us to believe that we're going to rule one day. They just want us to get a good job, become a millionaire basketball player or some kind of football player, right? Those two jobs, football, NFL, and soccer, or English football, like European football, soccer, right? Any of those three jobs. Boxers, okay, they'll rock with a boxer, but that actually requires you to maybe get beat up a bit. The easier ones where there's not no physical violence involved, that would resemble things that you do in high school, secondary school. Those are the jobs that a lot of these Israelite women like, man, for men to do. And that's why a man that does any of these professions pretty much has access to all women of all different types of careers and categories in this world, man. Men that have become soccer players, football players, and NFL players get wives of all different kind of lanes, man. All different kind of lanes. That's what I personally think, me personally, that's what they like. And that's the average Israelite woman would rather just do that and become a millionaire, shut up, pay every single bill in their life, right? And allow us to make her deal with what other men she wants to deal with on the side as well. That's what I think that some of them would actually think is a good deal for us. That's what I actually believe that a lot of them think, man. I think that the average Israelite woman in this world is lost right now, man. Lost. Right, and I'm gonna read a few of these comments. It says, MAGA and Edomite supremacists are cowards and barely humans. Now you know what those chants of lock her up really meant. I don't even know what that's talking about, personally. Let's read a few more, man. You know, basically, they're just bunning out Esau, but I find it funny that the Edomite woman's trying to throw the Edomite man under the bus because you ain't getting under the new covenant by doing this. But it just shows how wicked that the Edomite man is then. And there's a beautiful scripture, man, that I like to read every now and again in Sirach chapter 10 and verse 30, which says, the poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches, right? He that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? And he that is dishonorable in riches, he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? And he that is honorable in riches, how much more when they got wealth? Basically, it says like that, right? And that's what we're seeing now, because Esau's got all the riches you could want. And his women still are looking at him like, ugh, you ain't really it, man. You ain't, like, minus the money, I don't really like you. And that's what Esau knows. He knows really if he didn't have money, then people don't want to deal with him, man. But an Israelite man can get befriended by people when he's broke as hell. Because the Israelite man can be charming, man. It's not really difficult for us as Israelite men to be liked. We can be liked, man. It's not difficult for us to be likable. Even among fellow brothers and that, somebody might not like you, but if you start talking to him for a while, they'll be like, you know what, he's all right, you know, because we're Israelites and we're likable people. We're likable, man. We're loved by Yahweh. We're favored by Yahweh. But Esau, he ain't favored, man. He's just an evil demon, and people only side with him because there's a financial benefit at the moment. But the times are going to come where they're going to be like, you know what, even that financial benefit isn't enough to make me want to deal with this guy, man. Forget him. To hell with this guy. Right, to hell with Esau. And I want to say this as well. Some of these women that are turning against Esau that look like Edomites, some of them are really Israelite women, man, that have got more righteousness in them than the actual Israelite women that look like Israelite women. And it's seeming like it's, oh, the so-called white woman's turning against the so-called white man, but really it's actually an Israelite woman turning against the Edomite man. That's what it is with some of this as well, man, because the Israelites are scattered in every nation. And our doctrine that we believe as Israelites is not in its truest form, should not be based on skin color. It's based on nationality, which is truly not nothing that we can actually prove right now. So it's based on a certain spirit that people are going to have that's more sided towards righteousness than it is sided towards wickedness. That's what this is going on. That's what's going on right now, man. Now, some people can't accept that because they ain't really switched on to the reality of things, man. But in the grand scheme of things, this is not based on no skin color. It's not based on skin color, man. It's based on nationality, which is a spiritual thing in terms of how we can see what nationality we are now. Right? We can't prove, none of us can prove what our nationality is right now, man. Right? We can't prove it. And this is the kind of thing that, like, looking at this kingdom as it's fallen, man, we can picture how our women would have been turning against us as we started to fall, man. You think when we was in ancient Israel, right, being sieged by the Babylonians, that some of our women wouldn't have been looking at us like, man, what, y'all ain't real men. Y'all ain't real men. If y'all was real men, y'all would go out there and fight these Babylonians and stop them from besieging us because we're starving in here. You think they wouldn't have been bunning us out? And it is the Edomite woman's bunning the Edomite man out right now, but just wait. When it gets into the kingdom, into our kingdom, and these Edomite men are in there, in captivity underneath the Israelite kingdom, right? You know how badly these Edomite, like, you know how annoying a Karen is. But the Edomite woman's going to be being a Karen to Esau in the kingdom. She's going to be looking at him like, you ain't a real man. If you was a real man, why are we having to pick all this cotton? If you was a real man, why are we having to do all of this hard labor? And any opportunity that Edomite woman gets to try and move into a less strict captivity, right? She'll do it. She ain't going to side, like a beautiful Edomite woman isn't going to want to side with an Edomite man and carry on with the captivity. She's going to want to try and get an ease upon her captivity in any way that she can. In any way. Because right now, as Esau's in his kingdom, the Edomite woman's throwing him away and throwing him down the drain. And it's beautiful that this is happening because Esau went on a large campaign to destroy our women and turn our women's minds against us, and it worked perfectly, right? But then certain men that didn't want to have to deal with that, went and started dealing with other women of other nations. And then that started making the Israelite man's standing go up in the world. And women started to realize that some of the things that was being said about the Israelite man were not true. Some of the things that you so-called Israelite women were saying about the Israelite man were not true. And some of the things that all the other nations of men were saying about the Israelite man to try and lower down our character and lowering down our standing in society, they're realizing, man, that's not true. Y'all said that these men just beat up women all the time. They ain't doing that. They ain't doing none of these things. You said y'all say that they're bad fathers and they don't take care of their kids. That ain't true. They're taking care of their kid. You're just a liar. You're saying all these things about these men. Oh, now I'm realizing, oh, you're saying this stuff because you're jealous of them, really. You're actually jealous. Y'all saying these guys ain't hardworking and they don't do this and they don't do that. But you're saying that these guys don't pick up their bootstraps. But then now that you're in a situation where you ain't been able to pay for your life, you're crying like a baby. Like how you were saying that they're doing it. You ain't picking up yourself by the bootstraps now. And they're starting to realize that these men are not who they claim to be, man. And that if they can't blame it on the so-called black man, they're not as strong as, they're not as talented or intellectual as they claim they are. And this high IQ stuff that they claim is actually bull. It's actually BS, man. Right? They're starting to realize that when Esau can't blame things on the so-called black man, when it ain't a so-called black man to blame it on, or an immigrant to blame it on, or a Mexican to blame it on, or a Native American to rob's land, just look at how they look. They look stupid. When they ain't one of us to blame it on, man. And I did a video a while back saying that the blame it on a black man trick ain't gonna work forever. Or why is the world jacked up? Oh, because black men are doing things in the hood. Well, this event that took place not in the hood. So what's the hood got to do with anything? The hood ain't the reason why my groceries cost double. Don't blame the hood. Because the people that did it ain't from the hood. Don't try and blame the hood all the time. Nah. Pookie and Ray Ray ain't got nothing to do with this. Men with their trousers hanging down below their glutes ain't got nothing to do with this. What have you did that's made this take place? That's what people are gonna want to start to know. How is them doing that got anything to do with this? Explain that to me. And the Edomite woman who's the closest to Esau, she's starting to bait him out, man. Because even they're tired of him. Even they're tired, man. And eventually everyone's going to start getting tired. And people are going to start getting tired with the main place that represents Esau, which is America. And it's going to be destroyed in World War III, man. America's going to be destroyed in World War III, but just because these women are throwing Esau under the bus, that don't mean that they become Israelites now. Spiritual or any other way. If this woman's not an actual Israelite, she don't get no parts in the new covenant. Might someone take her in as some kind of concubine, something like that? Maybe not too though. Right? Could this woman be an Israelite? Yes, she could. Are there going to be certain men that look like Edomites that are actually really Israelites that they're going to turn against this society as well? Yes, because it's going to be about people that actually believe in righteousness for real. And anyone that actually believes in righteousness for real, the reason why they believe in righteousness for real is because they are actually an Israelite. It's not because they're a heathen. It's because they're an Israelite that's trying to turn and wants the world to be righteous, actually. Not in a fake way. They truly want the world to be righteous, man. Now, I'm going to end the video there, man. I just wanted to talk about this because the facade of Esau's masculinity and his intelligence is being torn down, and it's even being torn down by their own women, right? And on that, I'm going to say shalom, shalom.